Welcome to this episode of Media Literacy Lecture Series. The main purpose of this lecture series is to give the background information about how media and information systems are working. As a common user, we are interacting with the media content from outside. But a media literacy expecting the common people to know every aspect of media and information operation. So that way, it's got easy for the people who are aware about the media system to know about the manipulations or deviations, biasness, stereotypes. Because informations are not 100% perfectly presented to in all scenarios. So we have to be very careful in why particular news is being given by particular person or particular frame, particular representation. So that is the main purpose of this lecture series. In that line of discussion, today we are going to discuss about very crucial aspect of digital interaction or our life with the digital media platform. As you know that digital medium is more intimate and we are able to interact with a large number of interfaces, quite easy to collect more information and select the appropriate content, song, video, everything. But equally, remember that all our movement is being tracked. All the movement is being recorded. And all this movement, including the click, mouse movement, how many seconds or minutes you are spending with one particular page, every information is being collected, including the nature of your mobile, nature of system, and what type of website. It's not done by one particular company. It's being collected by multiple sources, and it's collated, and they're trying to create an image of particular person, user. So that's an important point. While interacting with the media, digital media particularly, rarely we thought about who are the people behind those digital media and what kind of data they are collecting and what purpose they are collecting and what purpose they are utilizing those data about ourselves. So there are a lot of issues, a lot of process happening behind our interaction with the mobile and computer. That's the core topic of today's discussion: digital privacy, surveillance, and data ethics. Let us understand the basic functionality of privacy. Privacy in a normal term, in normal circumstances, private means a private matter and confidential matter, and which is confined to few people. But in an online platform, the privacy is basically, it's not about hiding the data. We're not hiding anything. Confidential, that's a private matter, not like that. And here we are able to understand, we need to understand the asymmetrical power. Means the person or company or institution who operates behind the screen collecting a lot of information. They know a lot about ourselves. But we are dealing with a system interface only. There is an imbalance of power. The opponent, the person who delivers a service, knows a lot about us, and the person who is receiving is, we are receiving the information only, whereas the other side collects a lot of information. So that is a privacy issue. And once we are aware about this process, who are the people involved and what kind of data is being collected and how it's being collected and what purpose is being utilized. If we are aware ourselves, empower ourselves on these dimensions, it gives the autonomy and protects ourselves against the manipulation and profiling. This is again the privacy issues. So the digital privacy is not a technical problem. It's not a technical issue. It's a social right. It's essential for democracy. Remember that. And our profile information could be utilized by various stakeholders, including the groups, companies, individuals, institutions from the political system. So that point of view, you can understand how seriously this issue needs to be understood, highlighted. So that is the issue about the privacy. And in the informational asymmetry makes the group people involved in the digital media is like a vulnerable. And vulnerable in the sense we don't know what kind of profile is being created of ourselves. And unconsciously or consciously, a lot of manipulation might be happening based on our profiling. And here the privacy concern is not about individual permission to collect the data, rather it's required is systemic accountability. The whole system needs to be more ethical and accountable. So that is one of the point we are going to discuss in this presentation. So privacy, it's a social right, and the individual users needs to aware about that, and it's very crucial to democratic process, and the data needs to be used judicially. And the second issue of our discussion about along with the privacy is surveillance. It's not about a CCTV installed across the street and corner and all. That's a small aspect of the surveillance. In the digital media platform, surveillance is not through CCTV. Surveillance is through various methods and various technical tools. And might be through algorithm, might be through cookies, might be through tracking system, might be through various other methods in which it's been completely the information service provider that tracking all the users, their behaviors. Tracking in the sense they're supervising surveillance is being installed to track the behavior. And that is sometimes it's a violation of privacy concerns. That's what we discussed earlier. And many times, remember that data is being collected about ourselves and our behavior, our interest, our interaction. Data is collected, processed, acted upon without our knowledge. Many times. Not all times, but many times. And what happens, right? They create a profile about individuals. The profiles leads to automated decision making in various ways. Might be a decision from the authorities, security authorities, probably for employability, probably for financial matters. So this profile is being used for many ways, and that profile is being created without our knowledge many times. So this is a crucial concern. From the media literacy point of view, what we are discussing on this part, we have to be very aware about the operation of information system, media system, and who operates that, and why they are operating that, why they are tracking our behavior, and what purpose. If we are aware about that, so that helps us to control our data, or at least take alternative counter efforts to protect our personal data. So that is the crucial aspect of surveillance part. The third aspect of our presentation is ethics. And in the privacy concern time, I told you that it's not necessary that individual permission is very crucial. Rather, the system needs to be more accountable. They have to be true to the purpose of collecting data. There should not be any misuse from the institutions, stakeholders, or the service providers or platforms. So datafication transforms human activity into quantifiable data points. All our interaction, behavior with the digital media platform is being quantified. And those quantified data become bulk. Remember that. And in India, 93% of the people are using mobile, but close to 74% of the population are connected to internet through various means. Could be mobile, could be a tab or laptop. And everywhere we are connecting with the various service providers, information providers. All this is being collected about ourselves. It's about India. And there's a big market. And similarly for the global level, billions of people are using the internet. And the MNC multinational companies, they're operating in across the global markets, they need to know about their audience. But this is the best way to track it that. So, tracking, they never do it on their own, but rather they collaborate with the service providers, collect the data about the individuals, then they use it for their personal business purposes. So this is the issue with the ethics. Our data is being tracked by platforms, and those data is being shared with somebody else for their business plan or their political issues or social ideological issues or something else. So this is the problematic area. So privacy information, tracking, and ethical issues. These are the core areas of the today's discussion. Media literacy or digital literacy, that empowers the individuals to know about this process, at the same time to create some steps to safeguard our personal interest. So that's the ultimate goal of media literacy, to propagate the issues. We are just creating awareness about all these issues. So before going deeper into that, let us understand the very basic components of this particular topic. So what actually is privacy? What actually is digital privacy? It's not about confidential information, it's not private information, but actually what? So let us understand what actually the privacy, the basic information about that. It refers to the digital privacy, refers to the right of individuals. They have the every rights to control the collection, use, and sharing of personal information in digital space. That is the digital privacy. Because my information is my personal information. That needs to be collected with my knowledge. And what data needs to be collected, that I should be aware about that. And after collecting the data and how it's going to be utilized. So this is all talking about privacy. If any compromise happens in that level, that's a breach of privacy issue. In today's hyper-connected world, every online activity leaves behind the data trail. And wherever we are going, whatever the activity we are doing, everywhere all our behavior is being accounted, recorded. And it's individual basis. Every individual is doing like this. And platforms tracks all the individuals' data. It's a machine algorithm that can track in any number of manner and continuously 24/7. So this is it's quite easier way to do that. And manually it's very difficult to do that. But where the machines and algorithms and system, other accessories, that helps the system platform to collect the data. So whatever activity, whatever the track we are doing, all the digital footprints, they call it, and it's being collected, stored, analyzed by the corporations, government, and frequently without any explicit consent. So this is what the basic concept of digital privacy. Our information, our interaction, but that's being tracked many times without our knowledge and all. And but once we are aware about that, so the individuals can retain autonomy over how this information is being accessed by whom. So we will come to know about that. Many times the terms and conditions are used to reveal that, but they may not reveal all the information on that part. And particularly, I'm repeating the same point, digital privacy is nothing to do with the technical issue. It's a social issue, and it's about human dignity, and particularly regarding the surveillance, profiling, and predictive analysis. So they predict that, okay, if he or she is behaving this way, the person likely to take a decision like this in this political scenario, likely to take a decision in the marketing level, likely to take a decision in the stock market. So they can able to predict that. So this profile, this number of people, this kind of demographic profile, they behave like that. So it's quite easy to maximize a business profit, to maximize the public opinion in favor of certain aspect that. So any direction they can divert the required profiling. So that's how the surveillance is happening there. Through surveillance, personal data is being collected and used for many various ways, and that is system works. Before that, we have understood what is the digital privacy, and we're talking about personal data, individual data. What actually this one? What do we mean by personal data? And there's one more category called sensitive personal data. So let us understand the difference between what is the personal data and sensitive personal data. Both deals with online platform. Both the information are collected that. And the personal data talks about our name, contact details, IP addresses, location, browser, devices. All these informations are personal data. Whatever the ways in which we are interacting, that is being collected. That's called personal data. The sensitive, the information can be used to identify the individuals, locations, and similar. It may not create any trouble for us because the particular browser we are using, we are located in this particular location, and this IP address is being used, our name, and it won't create any risk for us. But whereas if you go to the sensitive personal data, that's a problematic one. And that talks about more information about our biometric records, medical history, financial data, our social profile, religious identity, and sexual orientation. These are not very personal, it's very sensitive. And actually the sensitive personal data is more useful for many stakeholders. Identity, orientation, personal record, financial records, biometric records, all this data gives more in-depth knowledge about an individuals rather than just a location, IP address and all. It's not easy that many times we used to share those details and all. The problem is the misuse of our medical history, misuse of our biometric data, misuse of our financial data. For example, the financial score, because based on our interaction with banking or credit system, the credit score is being created. And that can be, for example, somebody is having higher score in a financial credit. So those people can be approached by various lending agencies because the potential score, good score, so he or she is having a lot of affordability, so can buy many products. So that's how this data is being misused, and it leads to the misuse, leads to the serious issues, including discrimination, harassment, and identity theft. That's in this context you can understand easily that why this privacy is a social issue, not a technical issue. And but remember that this is not rampantly happening. Platforms are being regulated by various agencies, including government laws and legal system, internationally and nationally. There are a lot of efforts are being taken internationally, and particularly about European General Data Protection Regulation and India's information technology rules and regulations. They clearly specify the activities of all the players, users and platform providers. So it has its own mechanisms. But the problem with the legal issue is legal has its own boundaries. It will give the boundary on that, and that it doesn't distinguish the operational aspect of that. The second most important point is legal framework doesn't change automatically according to the change in the technology, because technology changes happens very rapidly. But legal changes, legal framework changes takes longer time. So that's how this ethics plays a very important role. Legal takes its own time to modify, accommodate all the changes. But whereas ethics is it can be modified individual level, institutional level, or global level. So that's why we're talking about ethics also along with the privacy issues. And why this privacy is a social issue? It's a compromise in the digital privacy. It's not a hypothetical threat. It has already happened in very large scale. One of the classic examples is Cambridge Analytica. You will find more details if you go to online. That highlights that how political consulting firms and collected millions of profiles from social media platform to manipulate electoral behavior through targeted misinformation. And there are many incidents demonstrate how privacy violations affect not only individuals but also integrity of democratic process at all. There's a lot of scope on that process of violation, misuse of the part. And if it is misused, and the problem is the individual users usually threaten that our data is being misused. So what happens that leads to the disengagement. Slowly they'll disassociate from the platform, particularly the context in which they are to reveal the data, personal data. But that's not a correct way of dealing with the scenario. Rather than disassociating with the platform, we have to empower ourselves to control what kind of data needs to be given. There are many ways in which that can be controlled. So that also let us see in this presentation part. So second aspect of that, we have discussed about the privacy. We discussed about the surveillance also. Let us understand more about the nuances of surveillance. For example, the surveillance is the process of monitoring, collection and analysis of personal data or behavior within the framework of digital media. Remember that. It's nothing to do with the CCTV based surveillance part. And there are ways in which the society is being monitored extensively through algorithm, through cookies, through our digital interface and all. And the digital surveillance is a constant, invisible, and most likely it operates without the user's consent. And it reshapes the power dynamics between citizen, corporation and the state. It empowers the platform providers, and they know more about the individuals and more about sensitive personal data, and that's more valuable in terms of authorities, in terms of corporate business entities, because this data provides more insights about the individuals. And for example, the state surveillance, that's more justifiable from the legal point of view. For the sake of security, that needs to be done. And particularly CCTV monitoring, that's regularly happens that. And biometric data is being legally allowed to collect the data of the citizen. And sometime maybe the monitoring of underground activity, that also being done. And usually the surveillance by the state machineries carried out in the name of national security, law enforcement and public health. And but whereas in the corporate surveillance, that the platform tracks the users via cookies, apps and wearable devices, more intimate devices through which that more information are being collected. That what happens after collecting that, those data is being used for targeted advertising, because profile is being created, and this is sort of people and this many number of people, and these are located in this location, and a particular product information is being delivered, not necessarily only in the particular browsing session, could be in any multi-platform, cross-sectional ways in which the information are provided. And the last point is about that data ethics. And we told in the beginning also, privacy is about personal data and sensitive personal data. Surveillance happens for various reasons. Some are very genuine state surveillances. Some are platform-based corporate surveillances. And the problem is those data can be collected, but collected in the name of something else, but used for something else. That's a violation of the commitment rights here. That's a violation of breach of ethical guidelines. I told you earlier also, the legal framework takes longer time to accommodate all the technological changes. Technology changes very fast, and it takes a very long time to accommodate all the changes in the legal framework. But at the ethics point of view, it's individual accountability and institutional accountability to commitment towards the service provider, whatever the service we are providing that. So data ethics refers to the moral principles guiding collection, sharing, and use of personal data. And its ethics usually addresses the fairness, privacy, agency, power in the digital data ecosystem, and how far that can be followed. So in principle and in practice, how it's being followed, that is what deals with the data ethics. And if the data ethics being followed in letter and spirit, it ensures that data practices uphold human dignity and avoid harm. That's a very, very crucial point. And there are various ways, particularly in this process of big data. I gave the example of 73% of internet users and billions of internet users across the globe. So big data, algorithm, and artificial intelligence are being used extensively to monitor the platform. And what is the main issues in terms of digital privacy and surveillance and ethics is how far we empower ourselves in order to protect this kind of breach of ethical issues, personal data, more importantly, sensitive personal data. Media literacy and digital privacy awareness are the crucial aspect of that. Media literacy, always we're talking about its access, understanding, and participation. But broadly, it talks about access, analyze, evaluate, and create message across a digital platform. That's what media literacy talks about. That in terms of digital privacy is concerned, and it enables the users how personal data is collected and how it's being stored, how it's being monetized, how the profit is being made out of the information collected about ourselves. So that kind of awareness is required, and that helps us to navigate the media system in a very meaningful manner. And the media literacy creates a critical consciousness about who collects this data and what purposes. And it can ask the questions about the platform, because many times you may be wondered, large number of social media accounts are provided free of cost. Of course, there are additional services are provided, but that's we need to pay extra money for that. But the basic services are always free. But in turn, they're giving a free service, but in turn they're collecting a lot of things. That's how these companies are running that. Massive system is being running that. And the media literacy promotes awareness about ethical and political implications of digital privacy, and what kind of cookies, what kind of content being shared online. And primarily a couple of things, tools can be used, and primarily terms and services needs to be understood clearly. And there are privacy enhancing tools are available that can be installed, and opt-out strategies nowadays is being given in many gadgets that needs to be enabled. And we should have more knowledge about using the password part, and how best we can limit our digital footprints. For example, reducing oversharing on social media. Think critically before filling out the online forms like that. These are the tools can be used on our own, and along with that, media literacy concepts can be imbibed. Critically engage with the media system. Ask questions before revealing the data, or ask questions before engaging too much with the digital platform. Thanks for watching this episode.